Welcome to these videos regarding the little virtues. Today we start with a big one, a big virtue, that is fortitude. Let's start with fortitude, and we will see how fortitude is surrounded by a lot of little virtues that are so important: magnanimity, magnificence, patience, perseverance, tenacity, little virtues that are this amazing army that surround like the general, the cardinal virtue, fortitude. During this virus, this coronavirus, we experience lack of strength. We experience our weakness. We are afraid we will get it, and if we get it, we may need to go to the hospital. And even if we don't get it, we are afraid and we experience weakness, living at home with our family, with impatience, sadness, despair. Fortitude is essential. So, as a summary of what we are gonna discuss today, true fortitude is not just that of the soldier, of the warrior, but mainly is that of the child that depends from his parents and becomes strong, based upon this dependence, this vulnerability, and then he can become a spouse and a father. So the motto and the image is that fortitude of Christ, the Son of God, who gives himself for us. He becomes an example of fortitude for us. As Philippians 4 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And as St. Paul says in 2 Corinthians 12, I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, for the sake of Christ, for when I am weak, then I am strong. So let's go directly to the topic. We all want to be strong in this time of virus. We find different ways of being strong. Some people want to be hoarding, accumulating toilet paper, food, water, everything. And I think I am strong because I have a lot of money or a lot of food, and I feel strong, I feel safe. It's a way of being strong alone, isolated. Maybe other way, I'm strong because I have strong opinions and I am invulnerable. I am not afraid. I don't care about, I don't fear. I don't cry. And all these are falsifications of fortitude. Fortitude is the virtue of the soldier, the warrior. For the ancient Greeks, fortitude was the most admirable virtue. The top is the one who is brave, defends with his life the life of his family, of his city. That was someone who loves the nation and is ready to die and become a hero. So Aristotle would say that fortitude is that virtue of the man who, being confronted with a novel occasion of encountering danger of death, meets it fearlessly, without fear. And this is the heroic love of the martyrs. St. Thomas Aquinas will say that the act of fortitude is martyrdom. So in this time of virus, I think we all can recover some appreciation of the heroes. Like we see these doctors and nurses going and risking their lives and sometimes getting the infection. We see first responders, we see our parents going to work when they risk or staying at home, which requires a lot of fortitude at home, educating children and at the same time working, at the same time taking care of everything. We appreciate this heroic love that is manifested in the virtue of fortitude. Fortitude enables us to be heroes. It brings like a special perfection into our heart, into our desires, our imagination, our will, our passions. Proper to fortitude is to face something difficult. There is something difficult, an evil that is coming, or a good that I want to achieve, and it's difficult to avoid the evil. It is difficult to achieve that good, and it's not immediate. It needs work, it needs time. So fortitude enables us to avoid that evil and to achieve that good. It's an amazing interior energy. When the good is not here at hand, but I need to run, I need to prepare, I need to plan, I need to persevere. And always the goal of fortitude is not just my strength, admiration of others, a reward, external reward, but the goal of fortitude is always communion with others. So I want to avoid this evil, achieve this good for something greater, a greater love, the good of the communion, of my marriage, of my family, of my nation. So fortitude is always at the service of love. As we said the other day, fortitude is a strategy of love. St. Augustine says that fortitude is love, bearing everything readily for the sake of the beloved. So the goal of fortitude is communion. I'm strong. I want to be strong in order to build communion with the beloved. And also the origin of fortitude is not just my strong will, my muscle, but the origin of fortitude is also communion. I'm strong because I have like a net of relationships that sustains me. I'm strong when I am related to others, to my parents, to my spouse, to my family, to my nation. So the origin of fortitude is also communion. I'm strong with others, child of, spouse of, parent of. So the origin of fortitude is this deep trust and this gratitude that make me strong. Because even if I am vulnerable, even if I am weak, this community and basically this dependence from God makes me strong because I know Him who strengthens me. I don't want to keep going a lot of minutes because we could keep talking about fortitude, and that's what we will do in the next days. But a couple of elements that are very important to understand fortitude as a transformation of our hearts, of our desires and imaginations and fears and passions. There are two passions that are integrated especially through fortitude. And is the passion of fear and the passion of anger or boldness. When we see something difficult, an evil that is coming, difficult to avoid, or a good that we want to achieve, like hunting, right? Or building a house, or getting this job, or dating this person, is difficult, and we experience fear and anger. Fear that, I may lose it, it's dangerous, I need to pay attention to this danger. And then anger, that is this amazing energy we have to really attack, right? And protect my family from the evil one, or go and do something energetic, right? So fear and anger need to be integrated properly. If I only fear and I am not bold, I will just give up. I will just consider the risk, the danger. And if I'm only bold and energetic and angry, but I don't fear, then I will do something that is not prudent, right? It's just temporary. So it's the integration of this fear that is necessary and this boldness, this anger, that really creates this beauty of fortitude. And fortitude has two movements. One is to endure, and the other is to attack. So sustinere and aggredi in Latin. Sustinere means to resist the evil. When the enemy is attacking, I resist in my place. I don't go back. I endure the evil. I endure. And then the other moment is to actually the aggression, to attack the enemy, to chase the enemy. So both are very important, and they have these different moments. Sometimes with the virus we can just resist, firm in difficulties. But then other times we can pursue the good and actually attack the wall. Okay. Well, I will finish here just with the conclusion. The true fortitude is not just the fortitude of the warrior, lonely warrior, but is that of Jesus Christ and that of the martyrs. Christ was strong because he was completely trusting always in the Father. He was the Son. So the fortitude we want is the fortitude of a child. Is the agony in the garden. Agony means fight, right? Battle. So the battle of the garden, when Jesus is strong because he is vulnerable, because he trusts and obeys the Father. He's suffering, he's really struggling with fear, but he doesn't give up. He doesn't abandon because he recognizes everything comes from the Father. He trusts in the Father, and therefore he becomes truly strong, truly an example of fortitude. So that's the fortitude we find in the scriptures, and we could quote, right? We mentioned St. Paul, I can do all things through him, through Christ who strengthens me, and many other quotes. The conclusion is that our fortitude is like that of a reservoir of a lake that has all this power of generating electricity or bringing water to a city. This reservoir is always receiving its power, its water from the rain, from the snow, from the mountains. It's not his strength, but it's a gift he has received. So that's our fortitude as children of God, children of our parents, and then we will be able to fight for our spouse and children. It's a gift we have received. The strength comes from above, and then we can be strong. We have this interior energy to be firm in difficulties and to persevere in the pursuit of the good.